Jai Hind everyone. I am Vivek Kumar Pansari, Assistant Professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. In this video, I will be discussing about vapor compression refrigeration system and domestic refrigerator. Why I am discussing about vapor compression refrigeration system again? Because it is well connected with the domestic refrigerator, and from exam point of view also this is what more important. So, that is why I am discussing this vapor compression refrigeration system again, to get connected with domestic refrigerator and from our exams also. So, this point I already discussed in my previous video, what basically the vapor compression refrigeration system. Vapor compression means here the vapors of liquid refrigerants are compressed and their temperature and pressure has been increased, and basically it is the improved version of air refrigeration system. So, air refrigeration cycle, which is the reversed Carnot cycle, already discussed, in which air is used as refrigerant, and in condenser the heat is rejected from high temperature air, and in evaporator the heat absorbed by cool air to circulate and to reject the heat. Okay, so, this is what happening in air refrigeration system. But in case of air refrigeration system, the phase transformation of air does not take place. This is done in vapor compression, where the refrigerant is transformed into vapor in evaporator, and again it is transformed in liquid in condenser. So, this is, and this vapor refrigerant is compressed in compressor, that is why it is named as vapor compression system. Okay. So, it is the improved one, because here the latent heat also comes in picture, that is why we are saying it is the improved version of air refrigeration cycle. The refrigerant used does not leave the system, already discussed, because the same refrigerant is getting evaporated and getting condensed and circulated throughout the cycle. So, the refrigerant used does not leave the system, but it is circulated throughout the system, alternately condensing and evaporating. In evaporating, the refrigerant absorbs its latent heat from the solution, yes, which is used for circulating it around the cold chamber. The vapor compression cycle, which is used in vapor compression refrigeration system, is nowadays used for all purpose refrigeration. So, that is why I again took this particular topic to discuss what basically the vapor compression refrigeration system is. So, one thing must be clear here. Here the vapor refrigerants are compressed, their phase are transformed in condenser and evaporator, through which the latent heat of refrigerant also comes in picture. That is why it is the improved version of air refrigeration system, and this is the reason it is commercially very useful. But what basically this is? So, before moving to vapor compression refrigeration system, what are the basic components? So, there are four main components related to vapor compression refrigeration system: the compressor, condenser, expansion valve and evaporator. The function of compressor is what? The function of compressor, the low temperature vapor refrigerant comes in the compressor, it is getting compressed, its pressure and temperature increases, then this high pressure and temperature vapor refrigerant reaches to condenser. In condenser, it rejects its heat at constant pressure and temperature, and because of this heat rejection, its phase transformed from vapor to liquid. Then this liquid refrigerant moves towards the expansion device, which is basically the capillary tube. Here, because of the expansion of liquid refrigerant, its pressure decreases. Because of the decrease in pressure, there is a possibility of partial evaporation. Okay, so in the refrigerant which is coming out from expansion device is liquid plus vapor, very little amount of vapors are there. Then but in this process its temperature and pressure reduces suddenly. Then this low temperature and pressure refrigerant moves towards the evaporator. In evaporator it absorbs heat from the surrounding or from the material or from the substances which are to be cooled. By absorbing the heat which is equal to the latent heat of evaporation, it's again evaporated and converted into vapor refrigerant. So this is what the basically vapor compression refrigeration system. Here vapors which are formed, vapor refrigerant which are formed in evaporator are compressed in compressor and it is circulated throughout the system. So this is how the vapor compression refrigeration system works. Here we can understand this through the TS diagram also. So the working of each and every component I explained there. What is happening? Again in evaporator, from the cold refrigerated space which is to be cooled, the heat is absorbed, but this heat can't be absorbed without any mechanical work. So the mechanical work is given, that is that W in form of compressor work. Now this high temperature and pressure vapor refrigerant is moving towards the condenser. Here it is rejecting heat to high temperature body, and in this heat rejection its phase is again getting transformed. Then this liquid refrigerant is coming towards the expansion device and expanding again, and its pressure and temperature is getting reduced. Then this liquid refrigerant again comes to the evaporator where it absorbs the heat and getting evaporated. That is what we can also understand with the help of this TS diagram, what is happening here. So first we can consider that at point 1, which is the saturation point. Why I am calling it saturation point? I am writing there, this is what the vapor dome. This is what the vapor dome for any refrigerant. In this particular region, the refrigerant will be in liquid phase. Under the vapor dome, it is liquid plus vapor, and beyond this, it is in vapor state. The point 1 and point 3, these are the saturation point. This is the saturated vapor point. This is the point where this line is the saturated line, and at this point the refrigerant is at vapor state. Before this it is in liquid plus vapor, and beyond this it is at vapor state. So this is the saturation point. And how much heat it will absorb in evaporator? The heat which is required, the latent heat which is required to convert it into vapor. So this is the saturation temperature for liquid refrigerant. Saturation temperature for liquid refrigerant. So from this saturation point, the compressor work is done, W in. This is the compressor work. Because of this, its pressure and temperature increasing and reaching up to point 2. So 1 and 2 process which is performed in compressor. So 1 to 2, this is the isentropic compression. Okay. And in this compression, the pressure and temperature of vapor refrigerant. Again I am telling why it is vapor, because the point 1 is the saturated point where it is getting converted into vapor. The whole liquid refrigerant is got converted into vapor. So here it is completely vapor state, and it is compressed by work input, and now it is at point 2, which is the high pressure and temperature point. Now from point 2 it is moving towards the condenser. So this process 2 to 3 is occurring in condenser, where at constant pressure, this is the constant pressure line on TS curve, on constant pressure and constant temperature, the heat is rejected to the warm environment, and because of this heat rejection the phase transformed. So from this point where it is at vapor stage, it is getting converted into liquid. So at point 3 the vapor refrigerant is completely converted into liquid. Now from point 3 to 4, it's the expansion. So here we can see the expansion. Whenever the expansion takes place, the pressure, so pressure is reduced, the temperature is also reduced, and because of this reduction in pressure, some possibility of evaporation. So from saturated liquid, it is now in the stage of liquid plus vapor. So here at point 4, the refrigerant which is entering into evaporator, mostly liquid, but partly it may contain some vapors also. Then again it is coming 4 to 1. This is the process where the heat is absorbed from the space which has to be refrigerated or which has to be maintained at low temperature. The heat absorbed, latent heat of evaporation is absorbed, and this liquid and vapor mixture is converted into saturated vapor. So this is how we can understand the vapor compression refrigeration system by the block diagram, by the TS diagram. I hope each and every process is now clear. Here we can see the working also. So the diagram is same, point wise point I can read out. The low pressure refrigerant vapor coming out of the evaporator flows into the compressor. Yes, so the low pressure, yes, at this point the pressure is low. So this low pressure vapor refrigerant and vapor also, because at point it is completely vapor, it is coming into the compressor. What is happening in compressor? The compressor is driven by prime mover. Okay, prime mover. In the compressor, the refrigerant vapor is compressed, and because of the compression, the high pressure refrigerant vapor from the compressor is then passed through the condenser. So in compressor, the pressure and temperature increased, then this high pressure vapor is reaching towards the condenser. In condenser, the refrigerant gives out the heat it had taken in the evaporator. So whatever the amount of latent heat it is absorbed in evaporator to get converted into vapor from liquid state, that heat is rejected in condenser. So that's what we can see. From 2 to 3, the heat is rejected, and this heat is rejected where? In condenser. To where? To the warm environment. Okay, so this is the refrigerant gives out the heat it had taken in the evaporator. The heat equivalent of work done, it W on the compressor. So the how this function is performed, how from the evaporator to condenser the fluid is the refrigerant is circulated, it is with the help of the work done in compressor. This heat is carried by a condenser medium, which may be air or water. If the condenser is rejecting this heat either directly to the air in the surrounding, or there may be some cooling medium also, it may be a water also. The high pressure liquid refrigerant then enters the expansion valve. So from condenser, the pressure is still high because this condensation takes place at constant temperature and pressure. So pressure is still high, and this high pressure liquid refrigerants are now entering to the expansion valve. This valve allows the high pressure liquid refrigerant to flow at a controlled rate in the evaporator. So because of the expansion, its pressure and temperature reduces here, and now it is reaching to the evaporator. While passing through this valve, the liquid partially evaporates. Already explained, whenever the pressure drop will be there, there is a possibility of evaporation. So partial evaporation takes place in expansion device also. But most of the refrigerant is vaporized only in the evaporator at low pressure. In the evaporator, the liquid refrigerant absorbs its latent heat of vaporization from the material which is to be cooled. Already explained, thus the refrigerating effect is obtained. Then the low pressure refrigerant enters the compressor and the cycle is repeated. So this is what the vapor compression refrigeration system or the cycle is. Now why I discussed this again? Because I am interested in discussing about the domestic refrigerator, the refrigerator which we are using at our home, how this is connected to that, how this vapor compression refrigeration system is connected. So now you will be able to understand what are these components and where these components are in our domestic refrigerator. Okay, so our refrigerator looks like this. Yes, so here we can see the compressor. Okay, compressor is there. The function of compressor is clear. The low pressure and temperature vapor refrigerant from evaporator is drawn into the compressor, where it compressed to a high pressure and temperature refrigerant. This high pressure and temperature vapor refrigerant is discharged into the condenser through the delivery discharge. So here the low pressure vapor refrigerant is coming from evaporator, it is getting compressed, and this high pressure and temperature vapors is delivered towards which? Towards the condenser, Now this is the condenser. So on the back side of the domestic refrigerator, we can see a very fine grid, black grids. In older refrigerators, we can observe this. Nowadays, this grid is covered, but this is what the condenser, that black grid is generally the condenser. And what happens in condenser? The condenser or cooler consists of coils of pipe in which the high pressure and temperature vapor refrigerant is cooled and condensed, and this cooling and condensation occurs at constant pressure and temperature, and the refrigerant while passing through the condenser gives its latent heat to the surrounding. So that's, yes, it is rejecting. This condenser, these grids, these tubes rejects the heat, liquid refrigerant rejects the heat through this condenser coil. So we can feel the heat. When we put our hand behind the domestic refrigerator, you can feel very high temperature there. So the heat is rejected. That heat is coming from where? This is the latent heat which is rejected to the surrounding. And when this heat is rejected, it is getting converted into liquid. And this liquid is then reaching to the expansion valve, capillary tube. Okay. And expansion valve is what? The expansion valve is to allow the liquid refrigerant, which is at high pressure and temperature, to pass at controlled rate after reducing its pressure and temperature. Some of the liquid refrigerant evaporates here as it passes through the expansion valve, but the greater portion is vaporized. So this is already discussed. Okay, then this low pressure liquid refrigerant, which is at low temperature also. So its evaporation is easy because the temperature is also low, pressure is also low. It reaches to the evaporator coil. Evaporator coil is basically the freezer of the domestic refrigerator. Okay. And what happens in evaporator? The refrigerant which is at low pressure and temperature evaporated by what? By absorbing the heat from the surrounding or from the substances or the food items or the water bottles which are to be cooled. And in evaporating, the liquid vapor refrigerant absorbs its latent heat of vaporization from the medium which is to be cooled. So this is what the vapor compression refrigeration system also, and our domestic refrigerator also. Here we can see a more clearer view. Okay, this is what we can say. This is the capillary tube or the expansion device. This is the freezer portion where the ice is generated. So this is basically the evaporator. Condenser coil. This is on the back side of the domestic refrigerator, and a electric motor operated compressor. It may be reciprocating or rotary. So this is basically the evaporator. So here we can see the domestic refrigerator. Here again we can see the layout of the domestic refrigerator. All the components are same. The compressor is there. Then in compressor, the vapor refrigerant at low pressure and temperature is coming from evaporator. So this is coming in. Then this high pressure and temperature vapor refrigerant are reaching into the condenser, The QH amount of heat is rejected, which is on the back side of the domestic refrigerator. Then this liquid refrigerant passes through the capillary tube. That capillary tube you can see here. This is the capillary tube. Okay, spiral. So capillary tube. So this high pressure and temperature liquid refrigerant passes through this capillary tube where its expansion takes place, because this is an expansion device. Throttling is occurring here. So because of this, the pressure is reduced, the temperature is reduced. Then again at the low temperature and liquid refrigerant reaches to the evaporator, which is basically the freezer of the domestic refrigerator. And here the temperature of this liquid refrigerant is at around -25 degrees centigrade. It absorbs heat from the surrounding air, the food items and other utensils, and it's getting evaporated. And this low pressure and low temperature vapor refrigerant reaches to the compressor again. So this is what the layout of the domestic refrigerator, and this is how a domestic refrigerator works. So now I hope it is clear what is basically the vapor compression refrigeration system. what basically the components and where these components are placed in our domestic refrigerator. Now there are certain points related to domestic refrigerator. It works on vapor compression cycle. Energy requirement 90 watt to 600 watt. Due to small and high efficiency motors and compressor, why it requires less energy? Because of this. Better insulation, yes, it is properly insulated, hardly we feel any cooling behind outside the domestic refrigerator. Large coil surface area because of the spirals, okay. Better door seals, yes, that's what we observe. Designed to maintain minus 18 degrees centigrade refrigeration section at 3 degrees centigrade. These are certain points. Insulation materials which are generally used, fiberglass, okay, urethane foam, wall thickness for foam, for freezer section reduced from 90 to 48 millimeter, for refrigeration section reduced from 70 to 40 mm. Works better up to the environment of 43 degrees centigrade. For this much of ambient temperature it is designed. Ice maker 2 to 3 kg of ice per day it can be. Vapor absorption is more expensive and less efficient. If we compare vapor compression with vapor absorption, we find that the vapor compression is the better one, but vapor absorption system is used where the electricity is a issue. So that's why it is also used there. In domestic refrigeration, how can we minimize the energy consumption? Okay, so what are the good practices which we can use? Open the refrigeration doors fewest time. Cool the hot foods to the room temperature before putting in. Clean the condenser coil behind the refrigerator. Okay, that's why nowadays these are sealed, because earlier the dust and the various other things get deposited there. So because of that the heat rejection affects. Okay, check the door gaskets and leaks. Avoid unnecessary low temperature setting. Avoid excessive ice built up. Use the power saver switch. Do not block the airflow passage to and from the condenser coil. So here I hope by discussing all these points, the working of vapor compression refrigeration system along with the domestic refrigerator, and you will be able to connect now both the things. So this is what related to this video. Thank you very much for watching the video. Thank you.